Thank you all so much for stopping by today. So y'all, I am the gardener that's going to show you the good, the bad, the ugly, and the overgrown. I cannot believe, I know it does not seem like it, but this area did not look like this the other day. Here in Georgia, this past weekend, um, we got like the highest pollen count in about 35 years. And then yesterday, when I tell you it rained, it rained. They actually had some tornado warnings and a few sirens went off. But I pulled in here today and I was like, you don't work on nothing else. And believe me, I got a lot to work on, but I was like, don't work on nothing else. Like, this don't even make sense anymore. Now, before I go get my hoe and come on up in here, what I did want to tell you, so I did a short about this. I really want to get this cleaned out. Y'all know that not only was this looking nice, I had a distinct line. And for some odd reason or another, do you see these purple flowers over here? This is like the cat pajamas, catmint. So they're starting to bloom. They're so much bigger on this side. On this side, you can barely see them. I do see a few blooms. But the reason for this, and once I get done, you'll be able to see like everything. But the reason why they're like this is because Chris comes over here with this weed eater, and I don't know if the string is too long or what is going on, but he just puts those headphones on and goes to town. So I'm probably going to once again come out a few more inches, y'all. I had came out quite a bit, but I'm gonna come out just a little bit more. And again, it might not get all done today, but this right here, I'm like, I cannot keep looking at this. And we got to clean our fountain out over here. So we're just gonna, work on this, but make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm not going to like film everything that I'm doing for the simple fact that I recently did a video about how I was getting bitten and swelled up. Now the swelling has gone almost down, but now, and I did this, I have on long sleeves, I had on garden gloves, but I've taken like an extra precaution and I've got on rubber gloves too, y'all. And it's hard, like it gets really tight when I put on the rubber gloves and the garden gloves. But I want to thank all of you who put in the comments about a bug called no-see-ums. I had never heard of it, but every time I got ready to tell somebody like I don't know what bug it is, they look at me like I have lost it. Okay, so thank you all for confirming that with me. So after we get everything cleaned up, we're also going to go over like some of the plants that you may or may not see in here. We're going to go over some of those and then just get our fountain working, because the solar lights, they do work when you come in at night. It really casts a nice ambiance. But honey, when I pulled in here today, I was like, we got to take care of this. So stay till the end. We'll go over the plants and I'll share with you the end results. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, so poor little catmint down here. Now I see how Chris probably is doing what he's doing. But for me to be able to continue to clean this area out, like I've already gotten this pile right here, y'all, is so much pollen. Like it is a lot of pollen as I just like pull everything up. But I'm gonna have to get my pruners because I'm grabbing hold to things and just pulling what I don't need to pull. So I'm gonna get my pruners, and these are speedwells right here, and these are phlox, but I do let them just kind of die back over the winter, and then when they send up this new growth like what you see right here, that's when I'll come in and cut back like the old year's growth. But I keep thinking that this is like a dandelion stem or something like that. So I'm gonna cut this back, and then I can come in with my hoe right here and kind of get up these. Some of the plants, because y'all know I don't like to call them weeds, some of them were really easy to pull up, and then others, because of the no-see-ums, I'm being very strategic about how I move in this soil. I'm gonna get these cut back, and let me tell y'all this really quick. So I remember planting some alliums right here, but We also have what's called wild onions. And I don't know if these are the alliums that I planted or the wild onions. So you know what's probably gonna happen? It's gonna get pulled up. I really wanna say these may be the alliums. I tell y'all what, I think, but just stick to the end. I think I'm gonna give them maybe a couple more weeks to show who they really are. And then, because I think these are like the drumstick alliums, and I do remember putting some bulbs down, not last year, but the year before that. But I do have some other plants that I wanted to keep this right here free, so that if I need to do anything with this fountain, I can just walk up and do it. But I want to see how much space I have, because I may stick a couple of plants, you know, here and there that I have. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and then we're going to start on this one. It is actually not taking longer. It's taking shorter than what I thought. Once you start getting a rhythm, it comes up pretty good. And then we'll mulch it later. Like, I don't have any mulch, but I just want, when you drive up, to make it look like somebody stay here. You know, like you just didn't let the garden just go, you know. And then it's going to start producing blooms here and just all this stuff. I personally, I have a problem with it. You know, I tell a lot of people it's only so much I can take, and then I'm like, okay, enough is enough. We got to do something about it. And this is where I am. So let me cut these back, and then cut those back. We're going to start on this, do the same, because I think last year I lost one of the phlox, but I do see one coming back. And then we'll get over here in the corner and just get all of this pollen out of this, fountain right here. And then that way we can turn it on. We can turn it on during the day and at night. So before I keep going, y'all, oh my gosh, it looks so much better. I still need to define the lines. I'm gonna tell you that I cut some things I shouldn't have cut on accident. I stepped on some things, Lord, this poor catmint, that I shouldn't have stepped on. Also in this bed right here, I stepped on some things, but do you see, like, it just looks so much better. Now, before I get ready to tell you what I'm gonna do to feed these perennials, because when I first set up this garden, I wanted to be basically perennials, so that I wouldn't have to do as much work as annuals, because once they get established, they're pretty good. And remember, we're in Georgia Zone 8A, red clay. Only when it gets super hot, what I noticed last year is I did have to put you know, just water this area, but not as often as my annuals. And they're gonna have continuous color all season long. Later on in the season, the speed well will start to make these beautiful purple spikes, probably about the same color as this catmint right here. And then these day lilies, one is like yellow, one's like a yellow, the other's like a burgundy and yellow, but I did alternate them, and so they're also going to make blooms. I'm not going to worry about this right now, because I pulled a lot of wild onions out of here as well. That's why I'm like, this is probably a wild onion. I'll probably end up pulling it. But what I want to do before I share with you what I'm going to feed them with, because I'm going to come through and I will not let this speed well grow this big, because it was a hard time going down in the plant, cutting the old brown leaves and twigs off, and that's how I end up cutting stuff I shouldn't have cut. But since this is a perennial garden, we're going to go ahead and feed this for the springtime. I'll probably come in again around June or July, feed it again, and we use the slow release fertilizer. I'll make sure that I share that with you, but let me go ahead, let me get this cleaned. Now we still need to define the line here, but I am gonna have to come out a little bit, because again, I'm not finna sit up here and lie to y'all. I stepped on this poor catmint I don't know how many times. And then we should be done. We're just gonna put more brown mulch on here. But I definitely want to clean that out, y'all. It's so yellow and so yucky and full of pine straw and leaves. Okay, so make sure y'all stick to the end, because I have did a few changes in my head. This is what I do. This is what I'm known for. We're going to add some things in, but I did want to share with you that now I'm going to go around all of these plants with this garden tone. I got a brand new bag in the truck, but we're going to use the rest of this in here. Garden tone or plant tone, those are my go-to, but I also have like tomato tone, bulb tone, berry tone, all types of those slow release fertilizer. This is really going to give your plants a boost. So I'm going to put them around all of our perennials right here, and then I'll share with you what I think I'm going to plant, because I just don't want them to continue to sit in those trays. Again, at the beginning, I did say this is more of like the perennial garden, but we're gonna have to break the rules just this one time. I also got the fountain cleaned out, took off a little paint. But what you see in here are like the mosquito dunks to help with sand and water. I'll turn it on at the end. I've had it on all day. I just wanted to make sure that it works. I still got to do some adjustments as far as the leveling, because like certain sides just drip, but we're not going to make like a big deal out of that right now. I did go today, because this is another day, y'all. I went today, picked up some of the mulch. Lucky me, they had it on sale. So we're gonna remulch this, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the alliums, or what I think are the alliums, or maybe the wild onions. They coming up because you see I done knocked them down when I was cleaning out the fountain, and just really abused them, not on purpose, but you know. So we're gonna get this all wrapped up, and then I will share with you like the finished product, what we added, why I added it at the end. Okay, y'all, so let's talk about what we have done. I am pretty much 99% done, but it's a couple of things as I was cleaning up, and I have to give a hooray to myself, because y'all, I don't know what it is about me, but a lot of times about 80 to 90% complete, I will be like, I'm stopping for the day. I'll finish this up tomorrow. I literally told myself, you are not stopping. You are going to finish up the bulk of this. The only reason why I said like 1% is because I do want to come in and just define the lines a little bit better. Since we had rain the other day, y'all know we got red Georgia clay soil here, and it's kind of like almost like clay or mud or something like that. So when I was trying to define the line again, a lot of the soil, as you can see right here, was just coming up and just making a mess. So I said I'll wait till it's a little bit drier on another day. But okay, y'all, hit the subscribe button if you can clearly see these plants. Like, these plants should not be weed eated, and this is what I did. So I added another plant, the same type, the cat pajamas, the Nepeta or catmint. So I added one right here in the corner. Last year I contemplated it, but I thought that the daily lily would drown it out, but we will see. I got one more that I have to place. Also what I did is we had some annuals that were just sitting on the side, and since they were starting to get dry, which is why they're looking a little bit droopy, but these are the same ones we use in our container garden, in which I'll link that video right here. But they're gonna pop back up because this soil is really wet. So we just went ahead, I had a 9-pack, I went ahead and used the rest of these, because once it starts getting hot, we're gonna pull those. I don't know if I'm gonna put anything else right here, because to be honest, I really wanted to keep it like a perennial garden, but I just didn't want these plants to just keep sitting there in the cell trays and not being used. I also brought a container that we planted in the fall with the tulips, so they are starting to come up, so we'll just have that there. I just placed this here, and I went around with my garden tone and we used the mulch, and again I put the mosquito dunks. But as you can see, like, one side is very good, but I will have Chris help me as far as leveling it, another day. I think I did really good. So everything is good. Remember, like I shared, and I'm gonna link that live, like you have to develop a schedule, especially if you're working but you still want to garden. We really went into some tips and steps you could take to be able to do both but not get overwhelmed. And one of the things that I was sharing in the video is that the other flower beds in the back, I came in and I did the same thing. That was about 4 to 6 weeks ago, because I started on phase 1, then phase 2, and then over by the herb garden. But already phase 1 is starting to get, you know, plants that we don't want there. The lines need to be redefined. So I'm really going to have to put just coming in, defining the lines to keep the grass from creeping back into the beds. I'm gonna have to put that on a schedule at least every 2 weeks. Like, I'm just gonna have to schedule it out. A lot of times I will time myself to see how long something takes, and then that's how I start scheduling things. So we got this bed, y'all. This is gonna look so pretty and colorful throughout the garden season. Like, I can already see it. Like, I'm good with using my imagination and what it's gonna look like. This phlox right down here was one of the ones that I made a mistake, and I think I might have stepped on it, clipped it. I did something I had no business doing. So that's why this little area right there looks like that. And then this is another type of phlox coming up. I noticed that these over here get a little bit bigger, but we'll see what's going on, because again, I know that the daylilies kind of alternate in color, but I'm not sure which one is which. But this is going to be a nice full bed, and I tried to keep this as clear as possible so that when I come to clean out the water fountain or add more mosquito dunks, it won't be a hard time, and I won't have to keep stepping over everything. So as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you share this video with your family and your friends, and if you're not a subscriber, go ahead, tap that subscribe button. Make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive notification each and every time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and until the next video, bye bye.